Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next lesson in the pre-intermediate course. We're going to look today at some pretty interesting linguistic or language issues, time sequence, and then this happened, and then, after, before. So we're going to look at time sequences and connectors. I did this because. So we're going to look at words that go between two ideas. These are called connectors and time sequences. Then we're going to look at verb phrases. Do you see that right here? I'm looking at these things right here. Then we're going to look at verb phrases. And these are really important. And I'm going to practice with you. We're going to go through this together, and then pronunciation with the audio file of word stress. So let's get started. And you're going to have to, in the first section, grammar, we have a listening file that we're going to do, but I'm going to actually read with you. I want you to listen to my pronunciation and repeat after me. I want you to improve your pronunciation. Listen to the end and beginning of words. Hannah and Jamie met, Hannah met Jamie last summer. It was Hannah's birthday, and she and her friends went to a club. They wanted to dance, but they didn't like the music. So Hannah went to speak to the DJ. This music is awful, she said. Could you play something else? The DJ looked at her and said, don't worry, I have the perfect song for you. 2 minutes later, so this is this time sequence. 2 minutes later, he said, the next song is by Pink. Now, you're going to listen to the rest of this. You're going to read it. I'll read more of it here. You're going to finish reading it, and then you're going to listen for the connecting words. You're going to try to listen to the audio. And then, well, first of all, you're going to read it and try to fill in the blanks, then listen to the audio file for the answers. So these blanks here in green, the answers are going to be right here. So you have to fill in the blanks and then listen to the audio file for the right answer. Very interesting. This is quite difficult here. From memory means what you remember about the story. You don't look, you just remember here. How good is your memory? Do you have a good memory or a bad memory? Complete the sentences from the story with so, because, and although. And these are the words we're going to look at in the grammar bank right now. So let's go through it. So try this, try D, see how good you are. Of course, all the answers, remember, all the answers are right here. Here's the grammar. You can see right here the grammar questions. So, because, although, all the answers are right here. So you can go ahead and easily look those up. Now, let's go to the grammar bank. Here we have the grammar bank 2C down below, time sequencers. I'm going to read this for you. We're not using audio files. And then we'll look at the rules. On their first date, they went to a restaurant. So the time sequencer is this. After that, they started meeting every day. So this is the time sequencer, actually, after the first date. After the first date, after that, then on Thursday, I decided to look for a new job. On Thursday, I had an argument with my boss. Do you know what an argument is? When you have a fight with your boss, a verbal fight. The next day, this is the time sequencer, I decided to look for a new job. How many jobs have you had in your life? Very interesting question. We sat down to eat. 2 minutes later, the phone rang, or my phone rang. When I came out of the club, he was waiting for me. The accident happened when I was crossing the road. So when is a time sequencer. When this happened, when I left, this happened. So we use time sequencers. This is the order to say when or in what order. We use when as a time sequencer and also to join two actions. I was watching when the phone rang. So I was watching, and suddenly the phone rang. So watching television is the long action. The phone rang one time in the middle of all of this. Now we have some really important words here that we all use: then, after, and that. The most common way of linking consecutive actions, one after another. Then I went here, then I went here. After that, I did this. So we have so we don't, these are the three, so we use then and after that. So we can see how we use it. We don't say after I made, after that I made. So there's a difference between after and after that. After is a preposition. After school, after my job, that's a prepositional phrase. But here is different. Here we're doing sequences. So after that, I went here. After this, I'll do that. So we have the two different things that you want to be aware of. After that is what we're interested in today. After as a preposition is something different. All right, now we're going to move to the connectors. I'm going to read these here. So she was driving fast because she was in a hurry. She was in a hurry, so she was driving fast. So we can use these on both sides. We can switch them and we have just the same. So she was driving fast because she was in a hurry. Because she was in a hurry, she was driving fast. So these two can be exchanged because the logic remains the same. We use because to express a reason and so a result. I studied hard so I could pass the exam. I passed the exam because I want to get a good job. All right, but and although. Do you know the difference between but and although? She tried to stop the car, but she hit the man. Ooh. Although she tried to stop the car, she hit the man. Those two sentences mean the same thing. So read them. The first one is more common than the second one. So we use but and although to show contrast. Although can go at the beginning or in the middle. Generally, but is in the middle. Although can be at the beginning or the middle. She tried to stop the car, but she didn't. She hit the man. Although she tried, she didn't succeed. She hit the man. She was very tired, but she couldn't sleep. That's the contrast. Tired, couldn't sleep. That's a contrast. Normally we would say she was very tired, so she went to sleep. That's the result. The result of being tired is sleeping. She couldn't go to sleep. She couldn't sleep, although she was very tired. Those two sentences mean the same thing. But is more common, so practice using the sentence with although. This is going to be more difficult for all of you. All right, and then we have the answers here. And we're going to go now to pronunciation. And this is where your listening files are going to help. You're going to underline the stressed syllable. What is a stressed syllable? A stressed syllable is one you give more emphasis to. So watch. Let's do the first one. Across. Across. The second syllable, cross, is emphasized. We don't say across, no, across. The second syllable is stressed or emphasized. Here we see approximately 80% of two-syllable words are stressed on the first syllable, but this one, across, was stressed on the second. Most two-syllable nouns, adjectives, and adverbs are stressed on the first syllable. mother, happy, madly. However, some two-syllable verbs and prepositions are stressed on the second. Arrive, behind, before. Do you hear the stress on the second? Before, behind, arrive. All right. And you're going to find which of these, where is the stress in these in the first or second syllable, and then compare it with your answers in the listening file right here. All right. Now we're going to go back up to vocabulary, and this is where it gets really important. In the vocabulary speaking, you're going to have words that are really, these are very important phrasal verb phrases. Invite somebody to dinner. I invite you to dinner. Not at dinner, not for dinner. I invite you to dinner. Now let's do this one. Have a great time. Let's practice these together. I had a great time. I had fun. Drive. We're going to drive somebody to the restaurant. Drive somebody. I will drive you to the restaurant. Let's meet in a coffee bar. I met them. I met my friend in a coffee bar, in a restaurant, in a cafe, inside. Let's give. I gave him my phone number. I gave him or them my phone number. I took, okay, you can also take somebody to the restaurant. I took them to the restaurant. I waited for somebody. I waited for somebody. All right, I left in a hurry. I left in a hurry and I ran across the road. You run across the street. You can play a song. And I was, let's see here. I was in a hurry. You can also be in a hurry. I was in a hurry. So some of these have two possible answers. Listen to the audio file and what they say, but practice these very important, we call these collocations, verb phrases. Here we go. I'm going to now wish you well. Happy studying, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.